Okay, so today we are doing a review of sections 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. Again, this is a review of sections 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. So we're going to be talking about one-step linear inequalities. Let's do a quick review of just the symbols from those sections. The first one here, that one is less than. The one right below that is greater than. So that top one, less than, when we come over here, we see the inequality, x is less than 2. What does that really mean? It means that all numbers less than 2 are a possibility. This symbol over here, again on the left, that one's less than or equal to. And another way to say that is using the words at most. And again, that means that all numbers less than or equal to 2, or you could say it at most 2. Lastly, we have the symbol greater than or equal to, and in other words, you could use at least. So let's move down here to numbers 1 through 5, and let's write in the correct inequality symbol. 4 blank 5. What symbol do you think goes in there? That's right, less than. Number 2, 7 blank 4. Well, how does 7 compare to 4? 7 is greater than 4. Number 3, negative 4, negative 8. How do those two numbers compare? Is negative 4 bigger or smaller than negative 8? It's actually bigger than negative 8, so it's greater than. Number 4, negative 14 and 14. How do those two compare to one another? Well, it's a negative, so that must be less than the positive one. Number 5, we have 1/2 and 1/4. And if you're not sure, let's change it to a decimal. So if I were to take 1/2 and write it as a decimal, what would you get? You would get 0.5, that's right. And how about 1/4? Think of dollars. How much is a quarter of a dollar? It's 25 cents, so it's going to be 0.25. Now, how do those relate? Which one's bigger? That's right, 0.5 is bigger, so 0.5 is greater than 0.25. Well, now let's actually graph some of these inequalities. If I have x is greater than 4, well, the greater than, what kind of symbol do I need to draw? Is that one going to be a circle or is that one going to be a dot? Well, if we look back up here, at the top here, it shows us that if we have a less than or a greater than, then we're just going to have the circle. And so in this case, we're going to draw a circle over 4, and then we're going to draw a line. Since the letter is first, remember, we can trust the inequality symbol, and our arrow goes that direction. So number 7, we have a negative 3 is less than or equal to x. Well, this one is or equal to, so if we notice up here again at the top, we see that we need to actually shade that in. So we're going to go to negative 3, and we're going to shade that in and draw a dot. Our x is not in the front, so we cannot trust the inequality symbol, and we go the opposite direction. Do you guys remember how we can test these? What number can we plug in that's really easy to plug in? That's right, 0. I always like to plug in a 0. So if I plug in 0 here, is negative 3 less than or equal to 0? Yes, it is. So 0 is in my solution set. That holds true. Okay, moving on to number 8. I have that x is less than 7. So do I need to draw a circle or am I drawing a dot? That's right, it's just a circle. So I draw a circle on my 7. My x comes first, so can I trust my arrow? I can. My inequality symbol tells me that I need to go down towards more negative numbers. And lastly, number 9. I have 4 is greater than or equal to x. So is this one a circle or a dot? It's going to be a dot on the number 4. And again, my x came second, so can I trust my inequality symbol to tell me which way to draw my arrow? Nope, I got to go the other way. Great job so far, guys. Okay, so now we're going to actually go the other direction. We're going to look at the graph and try to write the inequality from that. So I'm going to start off with x, and my number here is a -3. And which way does my arrow point? It points to the right, so I'm going to have a greater than symbol. But do I have a circle or a dot? I have a dot, so do I leave it like that, or do I need to put the line underneath? That's right, I do need to go ahead and put the line underneath. So the correct answer for this one is x is greater than or equal to a -3. But I could also flip that and write it the other direction and have a -3 is less than or equal to x. Number 11. Again, I can start off with my x and my 1, and I just need to figure out which symbol goes there. Well, I know that the arrow is pointing to the left, so I want a less than symbol. And it's not shaded in, it's a circle, so I don't need to draw the line underneath. I'm done. But to flip it, I can start with my number and take my inequality symbol and just flip it the other direction. So now I have 1 is greater than x. Those both say the same thing. Number 12. I've got my x again, and I've got a 3 this time, and I have an open circle, and the arrow is pointing to the right. So what symbol needs to get put there? That's right, it's greater than. You guys are doing awesome. Woohoo! All right, so if I want to flip that around, what is it going to say? Don't all speak at once. It's okay, really. Come on. 3 is less than x. All right, stay with me here. We're almost done. Okay, so let's rewrite each phrase using inequality symbols. So I have x is greater than 9. I know it says great. It's a typo, okay? Just bear with me. X is greater than 9. So I have x is greater than 9. Not too bad, right? Okay, number 14. X is at most 10. So I know I've got x and 10, but I have to remember what that at most is going to mean. Well, can it be less than 10? Yeah, I can. Can it be greater than 10 if I want at most? No. So it's going to be x is less than 10. But could it equal 10? Yeah, it actually could. So we have x is less than or equal to 10. All right, number 15. X is at least a -2. So again, I can plug in my x and my -2. That's the easy part. Now I just have to remember at least. Well, if we look back up at the top of the page, in that box underneath, what does this mean? Do you see the words at least to? Yeah. And what symbol is that connected to? That one's connected to the greater than or equal to symbol. Okay? All right, number 16. X is no more than 7. So I can drop in my x and my 7, and is no more. What does that mean? Well, can it be larger than 7? No. But it can be less than, right? Okay. Can it equal 7? No, it can't even equal 7. So it's just x is less than 7. Great job, guys. All right, now for a quick review from last chapter. If I wanted you to solve x plus 9 equals 12, what would I do first? I want x all by itself, so what do I need to do first? That's right, I need to subtract 9 from both sides, and I get that x is equal to 3. So what is the solution? X equals 3. Well, how many solutions are there? Well, it's just x equals 3, so there's just 1. Now we're doing inequalities, and if I wanted to solve the inequality, x plus 9 is less than 12, my first step is going to be the same thing. I've still got to get x all by itself, so I subtract 9 from both sides, and I'm going to get that x is less than a 3. So that inequality symbol stays the same. I just bring it down. So my solution is x minus 3. And if I wanted to write that in set builder notation, I would simply add curly brackets, put my variable first, draw a bar, and then my solution. So how many solutions are there in this? Well, they're actually infinite, right? Because it's valid for anything that's less than 3. All right, now we're going to try and solve and graph some of these one-step inequalities. So number 17 says that I have x plus 7 is greater than 11, and I need to solve for x. So I need to get rid of that 7. How do I move that 7 from that side to the other side of the inequality? Just like I did it before, that's right. I would subtract 7 from both sides. And I would end up with x is greater than 4. Remember, that inequality symbol just comes right down, just like the equals would. So I have x is greater than 4, and I need to graph that. So don't forget to put a 0 somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go backwards at least one negative. So I have a negative 1. And do I want a circle or do I want a dot? That's right, I just want a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle on 4. Now, can I trust my inequality symbol? That's right, I can, because my x came first. So I'm going to draw my arrow to the right so that I have now successfully graphed x is greater than 4. Number 18, I have 3x is less than or equal to 9. I need to get rid of that 3. How do I do that? I need to divide both sides by 3. And I get x is less than or equal to 3. So fill in your number line. And I have x is less than or equal to 3. So is that a circle or a dot? That one's going to be a dot because it's got that equals to. And I can trust my inequality symbol because my x came first. So I'm going to the left. Number 19, I have x minus 9 is less than 17. I need to get rid of that subtraction of a 9, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So I get x is less than 26. Now remember, when you draw this, I need to have a 0, I need to have a positive, and I need to have a negative number. So I'm going to start over here with a 0, and I'm going to go to 26, and then I'm going to go to 52, and I'm going to go to a negative 26. Okay? Whatever you decide to be your increment between the two dashes, you need to stay consistent. All right, so at 26, am I drawing a circle or a dot? That's right, it's just going to be a circle. And am I going to the left or to the right? I'm going to the left. All right, last one for this slide. I have x divided by 3 is greater than 2. I need to get rid of that 3. How is that 3 talking to the x? That's right, by division. How do I break that apart? I'm going to multiply both sides by the number 3. So those are going to cancel, and I have x is greater than 6. So I'm going to drop my 0 down, and I'm going to count by 2s this time. So am I going to draw a circle or a dot on that 6? That's right, it's just going to be a regular old circle. And my x came first, so can I trust my arrow that points to the right? I can. All right, so now I'm looking at number 21. Negative 5x is less than or equal to 25. Well, this is where things get a little tricky because remember over here, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip that inequality symbol. So for this one, I need to divide both sides by a negative 5. So when I do that, my inequality symbol gets flipped and it's no longer less than or equal to, it's now greater than or equal to. And a negative 5x divided by a negative 5 is just x. And 25 divided by a negative 5 is a negative 5. Remember, if I wanted to put that in set builder notation, I would simply do an open curly x bar x greater than or equal to a negative 5. And to graph it, I need to put my zero somewhere. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and don't forget your positive 1. Now, am I going to draw a circle or a dot? This one has that line underneath showing that it's equal to, so it actually needs to be a dot. And my x came first, so I can trust my inequality symbol, and I'm going to move to the right. You guys are doing awesome. We only have 5 more to go. Number 22. I have x divided by a negative 6 is greater than 7. How is that negative 6 talking to the x? That's right, it's division. And how do I break that apart? I need to multiply. Great job. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my inequality by a negative 6. But it's negative, so what do you have to do? Don't forget, flip that inequality symbol. It's no longer greater than, it's less than. So my negative 6's cancel, and I'm left with x is less than, what's a 7 times a negative 6? That's right, it's a negative 42. All right, so I'm going to have 0, and I'm going to jump to 21, 42, and then I'm going to go the other way with a negative 21 and a negative 42. So above the negative 42, I'm going to draw a circle this time. And which way does my arrow go? It goes to the left. Make sure that I can tell which way your arrow is going. Number 23. I have negative 2 is less than x plus 5. Well, here's my x. I got to get rid of that 5. How do I get rid of it? Okay. I'll subtract 5 from both sides. So I end up with an x on the right, copy down my symbol, and then I have a negative 7. Why did I not flip my inequality this time? That was a negative 5. That's right, it was just subtraction. It wasn't multiplication or division, so I didn't need to flip the inequality. However, can I trust my symbol right now? No, I can't. So you might actually want to rewrite it that says x is greater than negative 7. These two lines, they say the same thing. It's just that the second one has the x first, so I can trust that symbol when I go to graph it. So I'll go back down to my number line. And I have my negative 7. And it's going to be a circle this time. And I'm going to look at my second one here. That symbol I can trust because my x was written first. So I'm going to scribble on over to the right. All right. So you're probably wondering why we stopped and didn't do number 24, 25, and 26. Well, that's because those actually aren't going to be on the quiz this week. They're going to be on your test next week. So we're going to put those off for now, and instead, I'd like you to get out your homework that you were supposed to turn in to me today. That was page 41, that worksheet. And I want you to flip it over, and on the back side of that, page 42, that's what you're going to start working on right now in class. So again, it's your homework that was supposed to be due today, and on the back side of it, page 42, that's what you're going to be working on. And when you're done with that, you're going to be handed out another worksheet, and it's called One-Step Inequalities. And you're going to be doing just the odd numbers of those in class today. Okay, so first, remember, get out your homework. Page 42, the back side of that is what you're doing. Then you're going to get another worksheet called One-Step Inequalities, and you're going to be doing just the odd questions. Good luck, guys!